Back tonight here on In Focus, and thanks for staying on. A pall of gloom descended upon the game parks community when highly regarded ranger Anton Mzimba was shot and killed at his home near Bushbuckridge in an attack that has left his wife fighting for her life in hospital. Some reports suggest his killing may be orchestrated by a poaching syndicate opposed to his professional ethos, protecting South Africa's game parks and its natural heritage of endangered species. Joining us now to share his insight into the world of game rangers is Andrew Campbell, CEO of the Game Rangers Association of Africa. Andrew, good evening, and thank you very much for your time. Do you operate there amongst syndicates, amongst mafias, amongst? I mean, it looks like it's a whole operation of people who are really organized around this crime.
Yeah, absolutely, Tabu. It's I think it's often not appreciated, that wildlife crime is part of organized crime, and that rangers are operating at the sort of source of wildlife crime in these parks, and often coming up against, criminal networks that have infiltrated, nearby communities, and rangers really, working against all odds against highly organized syndicates.
Is there a kind of collaboration that is required here? I mean, if you're working with criminal syndicates, yourself, your primary job, of course, is to protect the wildlife species. But if you've got gangs and criminals that are operating there, you need the police to also come and intervene and give you support and maybe even resource some of these operations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our rangers' job is very much, working inside parks. Obviously, against, wildlife protection is just one aspect of what rangers do, but they're conservationists at heart. But they do need, high levels of support from local SAPS and other, state structures like the judiciary and prosecutors to effectively do their jobs.
Yeah. As far as protecting the animals themselves, are you winning the war?
So it's, it really varies from park to park. There's some parks that are doing amazingly well. A lot of the world's focus is on rhino poaching, and certainly, Anton's tragic death was, just highlights the odds against those rangers working in rhino parks, the odds that they face. But, when it comes to rhino poaching, selected parks are doing all right. We need to look at other measures than just carcasses, that are found per year. We need to look at rhino population growth rates. And in parks where growth rates are increasing, which we do have in South Africa and in Africa, then we would say that the level of success is good. In other parks, populations are in decline, which is a tragedy.
Yeah. And how does something like the kind of erosion that we are starting to see of field workers even set you even more back in terms of that work of trying to prevent poaching?
Yeah, I mean, Anton's death was a real, blow to the heart of the ranger corps, because, there he was at home, with his wife and children, and has been essentially what seems to be assassinated by a poaching syndicate for the good work that he was doing. So rangers are no longer safe in their own homes, and that's really an escalation of threat to our profession, and something why we're taking this particular incident very seriously.
Yeah. And when we speak then of solutions and what needs to happen, it appears to me that it's far-reaching. I mean, it probably has got to do with protecting our borders. It's got to do with ensuring that there is a curb of demand on these products. It seems like it should involve quite a complex operation and a complex response of interventions.
Yeah, absolutely, Tabu. It's not a simple thing, getting on top of organized crime. We have seen in South Africa, it's been well documented, an erosion of some of the protection systems and the state security agency. There's been a lot of things in the press around the last sort of 10 years and around how some of these agencies' efficiency has been devalued. We really need to build back, strength with them. Parks that are doing well are working closely with supportive police units nearby. And that's something, rangers can't do this alone. They work at the forefront of conservation and at the source of wildlife crime. But they need support. They need support from the police, as you said. They need support from customs and excise. A lot of these wildlife products travel across borders. Whether it's flying out of well-known international airports like Oliver Tambo in Johannesburg, or across, being trafficked across borders on foot. So customs and excise, border police, in some areas the military are protecting our borders as well. And then, of course, when perpetrators are brought to book, we need strong prosecution and support from the judiciary as well. A lot of rangers tell stories about, we can make arrests and put people in jail, but next month they're back in the park again on bail and perpetrating the same crimes.
Yeah. As an association, are you satisfied with the kind of response and attention that the case of Anton is currently receiving from the police?
Total, we're looking very closely at it. It is early days. It happened on the 26th of July. Today is World Ranger Day, as you know. So it's really pertinent, and the world's focus is on what's happened to Anton and what's happening to rangers worldwide. Anton was the 295th ranger that's been assassinated or murdered since 2011 in Africa, which is a horrific number. Over 50% of rangers' deaths are homicides. So he is one of many rangers that it's laid his life down. But just the brutality of what happened to Anton and his wife, who was obviously critically injured in the incident, means we need to keep a close eye on this. We need aggressive prosecution, and I know the ranger community has rallied behind Anton and his family, and the good people up at Timbavati have set up a fund to assist his children with their education. But certainly we're going to be watching closely. We need a strong message to be sent out to rangers that we've got their back, that the police have their back, that the judiciary has their back. And we also need a strong message to be sent out to these syndicates that, we will not back down.
Yeah.
Anton was a man of integrity, and he paid the ultimate price for his integrity.
Andrew, thank you so much, Sharon, for coming up and for raising the alarm. And I know you always have been raising the alarm, but just to amplify it a little bit more on this rather critical case of the erosion of field workers and very important field workers in the protection of our wildlife. Andrew Campbell, CEO of the Game Rangers Association of Africa.